Welcome to the Yardi Board Member Training Part 1 video. In this video we will show how to access Yardi's access point for board members and some basic information on the tool. To begin, you will need the URL to gain access to the portal, www.yardiasp13.com/96705 You will also need a username and password to gain access. If you do not have one, contact your property manager and they will get you the username and password within 24 hours. Once you get it, type your username and your password in here and log in. The first page you're going to see is the base home dashboard for board members. On it, there are varying pieces of information. We'll discuss them now. The page is broken down into a central page, a side menu, and a top menu. From left in the base menu, you'll have today's date. If you have multiple properties that you have access to, you'll be able to select them by clicking on the property list. Anything that's underlined, you can expand upon and select your property. I have a list of all the communities. If you have a list of just your own community, you'll have just one property show up on this list. If let's say you have two, you sit on the board of two communities, you'll be able to select which community you want. For all intents and purposes, we will continue to work with Potomac Meadows. You have information for finance-related matters, maintenance-related matters, tasks, additional links, summary information, and then detail information. As you can see, several things are blue and underlined. Things that are blue and underlined means they are links to other things. For example, if we wanted to see how many folks exist on the community, all the registered homeowners, we would go to total persons, select that 65 that's underlined, and we'll be able to see all the homeowners, their names, if we have an email address, their email address. If there's building and unit denominations, we'll be able to see that as well. As certain things are blue and underlined here, it means you can expand on them as well. So let's say we wanted to see the information for Beth Agard. We'd be able to open up her individual homeowner card, and we'd be able to see information about her. Who the co-owner is, who the main occupant is, physical address. If they had other addresses, we'd be able to have them here in the contact information. Their scheduled charges would be here, so this would be their condo association dues. Note she's a co-owner, so she has no association dues assigned to her. The owner-occupant, John Agard, this account, this T-code, is the one that impacts condo association due collection. So this little star notes the individual's account that relates to the finances of the unit. And you'll see in his account, because he's the owner-occupant, his charge exists here. So this denotes that there's an $80 charge January through December, and it's paid monthly. The late fee structure for the community is listed here. Basically, this means that there's a 15-day grace period. There's a flat fee of $15 that's collected after the 15-day grace period. If we have a vehicle registered or if we're tracking vehicle information, we would have that here. If they had renters, we would have that information here if it was given to us. If they were a board member, you'd be able to see that by that little click, that little button being clicked here. So for all of your individual information, you being the board members, you should see a little checkbox right there. If, for example, we get Mr. Agard's email address, you could always edit it, put it in there. By simply putting it in there and hitting save. let's go back to the main page. Let's say you have this expanded, but you want to go all the way back to the beginning. Up here in the top menu where it says Home, you would click Home. It'll bring you back to the same exact page that we opened up. So now if you remember, we had the two guard, the wife and the husband. One account was the co-owner, one account was the main owner. If you want to see all the main owners, the ones with the stars next to them, you would go to owner occupants. And you would see the 48 owner occupants in the account. So as we saw before, John Agard was the main owner occupant. And then his wife, Beth Agard, was a co-owner. Other pieces of information that are important here are the finance links right here. Let's say you want to review your account receivables. Well, you can review them in summary form or detail form. If you click on this little button here, it's a link that'll take you directly to the summary version. So this community has $11,297 in total of account receivables, and it's broken down in tranches. 0 to 30 days, there's 11 people that owe. 31 to 60, there's 5 people that owe. 61 to 90, there's 7. And 90 plus days, there's 8. There's also 20 folks that have prepaid. If you want to see the detail as to who owes money, you would click AR Details, and it would break it down by individual. Those tranches again. It would also list out their T codes. So their individual registration codes. And it'll show you the breakdown of those individual accounts. As you can see, there's negatives and positives. The negative total outstanding balances indicate a total prepay, meaning they've paid association dues for several months in advance. Positive number in total outstanding means they owe money. So in this instance, Joan Cosmero was $199.27. Similar to AR, summary and detail, you can do the AP, summary and detail. Meaning, we can review the bills that are outstanding. In this instance, there's one bill that's 30 days outstanding, and there's several that are fairly old. You'd want to see why and what those bills are. You can go to AP Detail, and it will actually break out what those are. So Potomac Disposal has several bills outstanding, and Topher Construction, we're holding a payment for them. The next important feature that we're going to discuss is the running of financial reports. On the side menu, you'll click Run Financial Reports, and it'll bring you to our Financial Reports dashboard. From here, you have the ability to run 4 different reports: an income statement report, a balance sheet, a budget comparison, and a 12-month trend. The accounting structure that we use is cash. Typically, you have 2 accounting structures, accrual or cash. Sigma is a cash shop. To trace everything back to the statements that you receive in the treasurer's pack, you'll need to use cash. So book will be cash. Your property number is listed here. The account trees are how a report is shown. As you can see, there's a bunch of them here. The only 2 that you folks will ever need to use are Sigma BS and Sigma IS. Those are the 2 account trees that we use to deliver financial reports to board members and treasurer packs and financial packs. Sigma BS is to be used on the balance sheet items. Sigma IS is to be used on income statement-based items. So for today, let's say we wanted to run our income statement for the month of May. You would put in your property. You would put in cash, Sigma IS, income statement, and the month or time frame that you want to review from. You will hit display over here, and you will see your income statement. I'd like to note these little buttons here as they're very important. You can affix a grid to the system, so you can have it all gridded out if you'd like. You can eliminate decimal places by clicking that little button, and you'll note it went from 3840 decimal places to 3840 no decimal places. Let's say you wanted to see the entire GL as opposed to suppressing all the zeros. In this instance, you'd see the entire GL that exists. As you see, there's a lot of zeroed accounts because we just don't use those GL accounts. We don't need to. So you can suppress those by hitting suppress zeros. Let's say you didn't want to see even this much detail. You wanted to see it in summary format. There's different tree levels. Let's say you wanted to see it at tree level 3. You can pull it down to that. Let's say you wanted to see it at tree level 2, which means you just wanted to see it at the bolded items. You can pull it all the way down to that. Let's say you just wanted to see income and expenses. You can pull to tree level income and expenses. For all intents and purposes, we don't want to summarize it. We want to see the entire income statement. These are the account codes, the GL codes. Let's say you didn't want to watch the GL codes. You could always remove the GL codes from the statement, and that way the statement's bigger. But we want to see them, so we'll put it back in. The income statement, very basic, gives you information, gives you year-to-date information, and the percentage of income. Let's say you wanted to see a budget comparison, and you wanted to see it for the month of May. You would simply select the budget comparison report. You would hit display, and it will give you the budget comparison report. This is the period comparison, so the month of May. As you can see here, there's different colors, different shades. The lighter the shade, the closer you are to budget. The darker the shade, the further away you are from budget. Darker red means further away in a negative manner. Green means further away in a positive manner. So you're ahead of budget. Red is below budget. This is the year-to-date columns. Same applies here. And then this is your annual budget for a point of reference. Let's say you wanted to see how you're doing month over month. You would select the 12-month statement. And while it says a 12-month statement, it actually will populate up to 12 months. So let's say you wanted to see how you're doing year to date. So January to May. You would select January to May as the time period in which you want to run the report. You would hit display. And you can see January, February, March, April, and May, the 5 months, and the total column. And how you're doing spending month over month. Let's say you had a question with regards to something that's going on here. Why does this grounds contract $42.92, but these are $1,440? You can open that up and see what this is. It's blue. Anything blue you can expand upon. Potomac Meadows is the property that paid. It was under this grounds contract, and the amount was $1,492. This is the account summary page. You can dive into more detail. This is blue. You can select it. It then gives you even more detail, and it says you paid 3 bills to McCarthy Grounds Maintenance, November grounds maintenance, January grounds maintenance, and monthly ground maintenance for February. Let's say you wanted to expand into the November category. Look there. You can do that as well. Here it'll show you the bank account that you use, the check number that you use, the date that the check was cut, the month it was posted to, the total amount. And here where it says pay, and you see it blue and underlined, you can continue to dive into this, and it will take you all the way down to the invoice itself. All this information you saw along the lines, the important part of this is you get all the way down and you can actually see the invoice itself by clicking image. So here you can actually see the invoice. When it was received in our office, the number of the invoice, so on and so forth. Okay. Let's go back and run the last report here, which is a balance statement report. Now remember, you have to go in and change your account tree to the BS account tree. So BS. And then you want to run your balance sheet. As you notice, this box isn't blue. Only this box matters because you can put in the month that you want the balance sheet to be run as of. So we want to run it as of the current month, which is May. We would hit display, and it'll show you your current balance sheet. Your operating accounts, your reserve accounts, accounts receivable, all the way down through. When you get back to the home page, you would hit home, and it'll bring you back to the same page we started at. This is where we'll end this video. In the next video, we'll highlight approving invoices, reviewing service contracts, and reviewing inspections. We will also review violation management, so you can track violations. Should you have any questions with regard to this video, please contact your property manager, and they can assist you as needed.